I do like the house method of a test because if we think
Yes.
about why,
Yeah.
at least for the most part, why they have the distinction of accredited investor versus non, is so they're essentially saying we don't want people investing in things and losing money that they don't have the ability
Totally.
to lose. Whereas if you
Totally.
have a test that can check your how financially savvy you are, it's
Yeah.
your money. If you're going to make bad investments informed and knowingly, that's your prerogative to do. Is my position. Obviously, I don't want people making bad investments.
No,
Hope you're not
totally.
investing, regardless of how savvy you are. I hope you're not investing dollars that you can't afford to lose. But I think a test is goes more towards achieving the goal of making sure we're not having people make uninformed investments because
Hmm.
I know lots of very wealthy people that are maybe not the most financially savvy. So,
Totally. So true.
I think
So true.
having testing to see do they actually understand the risks involved and understand how to vet these things, I think that's a better barometer versus just you had a job or maybe you made one investment that randomly panned out and now you're accredited, but not necessarily um, educated enough to protect yourself. Whereas a test,
So true.
but make sure that yeah, you have the education and knowledge to protect yourself.
I love that. I love that. And there's so much information to really educate yourself, through AI, through all these
Yeah, I think
videos
AI
and
is a whole
others,
new ball
all
game.
those things.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Everything is so important. But the big thing I see, Nick, also is that, oh, I don't think my daughter is coming in there. Yeah. So, you know, so true. But I think like stock market, nobody is to take a test. I mean, they just get and they lose money overnight sometime, right?
Mhm.
Bad investments happen. So that sophisticated investors, if they are not or precluded, not involved into good syndications, they lose out. That's
Yeah.
the other side of it, right? Only accredited investors, wealthy people with high net worth get those great returns,
Yeah.
which savvy, syndicators and fund managers are able to do. That's right.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, I
right.
hadn't even mentioned that. Yeah, that's a great point because yeah, if we make it to where only wealthy people can invest in these deals that are giving you 15,
Yes.
20%, and if you're not wealthy, you can invest in the stock market and get 7, that we're
Yes.
just making that gap higher. Yeah, whereas
So
I think
true.
a
So true.
test could give the protection while also, like you said, allowing those people that may not be as high of income
Totally.
earners or high of net worth, but they understand what they're doing. It allows them to get into investments that have the potential for much better returns as
Potential
well.
that matter. Yes. Any other big tips you would like to say to some new investors, new syndicators? What to
Um,
watch out? Yeah.
Kind of for new operators, new syndicators, I'd say really have a good relationship with your lender and talk with them regularly, particularly in
Hmm.
this market cycle. One thing that I'm seeing a lot is that we're having rates expire or rate
Yeah.
locks end, or even sometimes the actual debt itself. A lot of times these deals, it's like 3 to 7 years of debt, and usually like 5 years. And so
Yeah.
we're seeing a lot of that debt expire. And so having a good relationship with your lender, one, can help it to where when that's expiring, you're already negotiating what these new terms are.
Yes.
Another thing, having that relationship can help you when there are tough times, or even
Mhm.
maybe not the toughest times. Because one thing that I have seen that's unfortunate, and this is somewhat speculation as to the reason why, but
Mhm.
I've seen a lot of lenders, not a lot, more than you would expect, um, putting operators in technical default, saying, "Well, you're paying your
Ah,
monthly payment, but
yes.
you were supposed to, paint the garage doors and you haven't painted them yet, so you're in default."
Oh,
Or
yeah.